Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Digital Nomad World weekly series. I'm Becky, and I'll be your host. And today we're talking with Mindy and Anil about opening a pop-up co-living in Hoi An, Vietnam. Mindy and Anil, welcome to the show.
Hello, everyone.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Becky.
Becky.
Thank you guys. I'm so excited to have two of you on the show. It's usually just me and one other person, so love it when people get together to make exciting projects. All right, so first of all, maybe we can start with Mindy. Can you share a bit about your background and how you started your digital nomad journey?
Definitely. So I'm originally from China and I've been living overseas for about 12 years now. For my professional background, I've been working in the hotel industry for about 6 to 7 years. And since 2023, I've changed my career path to a consultant side of the business. And I've vis Yeah, so I visited a couple of co-livings in Southeast Asia and also China, and absolutely love the experience, especially the community and then also the connections with people from different backgrounds. That was a primary reason that I want to create this community and co-living space for other people. So we hope both me and Anna, we hope that we can create this type of environment for people to connect.
Sounds really great. And how about you, Anil? Can you share with us your background?
Sure. So I have been a tech entrepreneur since 2012. I've been running my startups. And around COVID, I had a full-time office with employees. And then the pandemic happened and everyone started working remotely. And that's when I also became a digital nomad. I started traveling and working from any place which had a good internet. And that's how my journey started. And I started meeting a lot of nomads on my journey. I lived in a few different countries. I was fortunate to meet some amazing nomads and connect with them. And yeah, that's been my journey over the last few years. And that kind of fed into the community that we have today and the co-living kind of what we are working on now.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, so the big question, what led you to opening a pop-up co-living in Hoi An? And yeah, we would love to hear about this process.
Sure. Um, so we were basically, Mindy and I connected to the very community that we've been like part of, the nomad community. And we, as nomads, we've lived in different co-livings and we kind of understand the benefit of these co-livings. And during one of these meetings, we were online in Chiang Mai, just discussing and contemplating how do we kind of make this a model where people can come together, uh, and the community can help each other. And we realized that one of the big problems that most nomads face is good accommodation and good working environment, because as a nomad you're generally working online remotely. You need good infrastructure to work from. You need and of course one important thing is you need a community. All nomads are away from their families, and uh, everyone seeks companionship or community to kind of in these remote locations. And we thought, why not bring everything together on one to one roof as a co-living. And since nomads are also on the move, we were in Chiang Mai in December when this idea germinated, and now, uh, given the fact that in March we were launching this co-living, Hoi An seemed the most sensible option because a lot of nomads. This is the peak season in Vietnam, in Hoi An, and a lot of nomads are here. A lot of the community members that we are already knew in different parts of the world were converging in Hoi An, so we thought this was probably the best place to start this pop-up.
I mean, Hoi An, I was telling Mindy as we were preparing for this interview, it's my favorite digital nomad hotspot at the moment. Would you guys say the same?
For me, yes. I think Hoi An is gives you everything you need as a nomad. It has a beautiful beach. It has a historical charm that a lot of the urbanized nomad locations might not have. And it also has this buzzing, vibrant community of nomads, which are kind of seeking the same experience. And I would say, yeah, it's really beautiful. It offers the best of Vietnam in one location. And yeah, you're right. I think it's kind of a very fast-growing nomad location now.
Yeah. And Anil, you mentioned the benefits of co-living. What for you are the benefits of co-living?
So when I started my nomad journey, initially, just like other nomads, I was booking in Airbnbs, I was booking in apartments, but there was no sense of community. So I would always feel that I couldn't, meet other nomads in the journey. I would go to meetups, and from those meetups, I learned a lot of nomads who were living in other co-livings. And then I started looking into those co-livings and I lived at those co-livings and I realized that it's so much more. One was my work was definitely not affected. Like there was always a good co-working environment, these co-living places. And two was the community that I could rely on. So we were all away from our places and when you're in a location, you just don't want to sit and work. There are activities you want to do. You want to go out for dinners. You want to go out to meet other nomads, and the sense of community that I got from these co-livings kind of affirmed my belief that co-livings kind of are the future, especially with the growing nomad community.
Yeah, no, I've definitely experienced a lot of the same. And I'm glad to hear that it's a growing movement. So, okay, you've touched a little bit on it, but for you, like what made you choose Hoi An? What for you is your favorite part about Hoi An? And by the way, for those listening, we have an episode like about specifically Hoi An itself, but for you, Anil, I'm curious what your favorite part is.
As I was mentioning before, Hoi An has this historical charm. It's an old ancient city. It's also a UNESCO heritage site, which means there are a lot of elements of the town or the city which are very unique. There's a very vibrant culture. There's historical nuances that about Vietnam that originated in Hoi An, and I think that is very unique to this place. Also, it's much slower compared to, a little more relaxed, I would say, compared to some of the other busy cities. And that gives you, as a nomad, since you're already occupied with work, you're already busy with your work. You want to unwind. You don't want to be, busy with other things. And so, I think Hoi An offers this relaxed feel to it. And there's so many things to do. There's beautiful rice fields in Hoi An. There's a beautiful beach where you can go surfing or just kind of relax by the beach. Some amazing cafes, which offer not just good Vietnamese cuisine, but also great Western options. So I think as a nomad, I feel being in Hoi An offers me best of almost everything I'm looking for. And yet I'm productive in my work, yet I'm connected to the community. So it's kind of a best of all the things that I'm looking for as a nomad.
Yeah, it's like a small town, but with a lot of variety. And it's not really that small, but it still feels like it, like you said. It's very relaxed. And my next
Yes,
question
absolutely.
is about Digi Nomad life. So when we're going to direct people to find you guys, and you're calling yourselves Digi Nomad Life. So what is this, and how did it get started? And I'm curious, is this your first pop-up co-living?
Um, Yeah, sure. So for us, Diginomad basically originated in Chiang Mai. The community was born in Chiang Mai. It started as basically a nature trips group back in Chiang Mai where nomads got together and we went on hikes. We went on, up the mountains to interesting nature spots, waterfalls. We went camping. And thereby the community kind of came together. I met some amazing like-minded folks there and it soon became big enough where it needed an umbrella to come under. And that's how Digi Nomad was born. We call it Digi Nomad Life simply because this is the life of a digital nomad, and everyone in the community kind of lives and breathes that life every day in some form or shape. And uh, the community kind of has grown. Now we have over 1,500 members in the community, and that's through the community we got a lot of feedback in terms of what could we enable for the community, what how could we make it more meaningful than just nature trips. And the most common feedback we got was it'd be great if we had a co-living where we could stay with other members of the community since they were already part of the community and they had a productive work environment. So we thought, why not put something together and offer it to the community that we already have in terms of the co-living. A pop-up co-living simply because a lot of nomads are on the move. It's very cyclical, cyclical. Uh, this is the peaks of nomads from June will be in Vietnam, but they'll then move on to other locations. And so we thought, what best than to start a pop-up co-living where we cater to the nomads who are in Vietnam at the moment. And then as they move, we might consider doing other pop-up in those locations.
Okay, and I'm sorry, is this is your first pop-up co-living?
Yes, it is the first under our brand. Yes, it's the first pop-up co-living.
Okay, nice. And so, Mindy, I have some questions for you. We now know what Diginomad life is. So what can people enjoy at the Hoi An location if they stay there? And I'm curious, like what the max capacity is and how long you guys plan to be running it since it's called a pop-up co-living. Oh, Mindy, you're muted. There you go.
So when the guests are staying with us at our Diginomad co-living, and they will be able to enjoying a very relaxing and calm environment because we chose the location near the beach, but not like it's 500 meters close to the beach. You can walk to the beach area, but it by itself is still a very quiet neighborhood. It's more local. So we chose the destination mainly because you can walk to the beach, but then at the same time, when you are at home, and you can enjoy this quiet environment. And at the same time, we do have co-working space set up on the first floor, and we have indoor and outdoor space. And at the same time, we have a swimming pool where if you just want to have a dip in, and then you can just go into the pool and then come out and continue to either work or socialize with other co-living members staying there. And then at the same time, we know, when you are living in a different country, and then you might need, for example, laundry services, and we do have wash machine included in the co-living space, and we do provide once a week cleaning service as well. So don't need to worry about your towels, don't need to worry about the shower amenities. This will all be replenished every week.
Okay, so that's included in the price. I imagine perhaps the
Yes.
washing is not included. It's like maybe coins or something.
Oh, so that would be also included. So we have a wash machine over there provided, and then you can wash the clothes by yourself. Of course, during daytime, not during night. And then yeah, and there's also nearby laundry shops where if you don't want to wash your clothes, and then there's laundry shop nearby where you can pay a very minimum price and then for a reasonable service.
And how many bedrooms do you have at the co-living?
We have 10 bedrooms in our co-living. Yeah, it's a mix of single room with one bed, and then also we also have double rooms with two beds inside. So maximum capacity is about 16 people.
Okay, how many single rooms do you have?
We have seven single rooms and three twin.
Okay, just people listening, you get an idea because this sounds really nice. Indoor, outdoor space. And what is the capacity roughly of the co-working space?
So co-working is designed to accommodate about 10 people. So we are thinking most people they will work during the day, but some of them they might want to go out to explore cafes or other co-working spaces, just to when you are in a new country, a new town, you want to explore a little bit. But when you come back, you can still have the space to work.
Yeah, that's really important, especially for people in Asia working European or US hours. I met a lot of people like that in Hoi An. Is the
Yes.
co-working space is that included in your price when you book the co-living?
Absolutely. We have 24/7 co-working space available. So as what you said, some people they work in US time or they work Europe time. So the space is always available for you.
That's great. I know sometimes it's not included necessarily, so I wanted to ask. Also, do you accept people coming in from the outside to use only the co-living if they're not staying at the co-living?
So for now, we want to keep the place as much as possible available for our guests who stay in there. But we are looking into explore the opportunity to expand the co-working space a little bit. We're still working on it. We'll publish on our websites and social media when that's available.
Okay, and do you know how far is your co-living building
Mhm.
from Hub Hoi An, roughly? By, I don't know, by
Um,
walking.
since in Vietnam, everyone take a bike. So it's a very, yeah, it's about I would say about 10 minutes bike ride from the hub. So I've taken the bike by myself from the hub to the villa. It's not too far. The whole one it's a town. I wouldn't say it's small, but it's everywhere. It's quite accessible.
Yeah, the reason I ask is because I was surprised when I went to Hoi An that Hub Hoi An was really the only co-working space, like official co-working space at that
Mm,
time in the city. But to be not that far from it, like you said, if people want
yes,
options, that's really
yes.
ideal, close. So,
Yes, yeah. So, the first time when I was in Hoi An, the hub, it was the only co-working space at that time. But now, actually near the Ambon Beach, where the our co-living space is located at, there are options. For example, there's co-working space on the beach, actually, really nice.
okay.
Yes, yeah, there and then there are also cafes. They have second floor set up as co-working space nicely too. So it's very nice to see that options.
That's really great because Hub Hoi An was great, but it was very crowded because there was not a lot of
Yeah.
options. So it's great. It sounds like definitely it's growing. And another question I had for you, Mindy, was you mentioned on the social media, on your social media, that curated activities are included as part of this
Yes.
experience. And I'm wondering what kind of curated activities you guys provide.
So we have activities provided during work days and weekends. So yes. So during the week, we provide, for example, yoga classes in the mo either in the morning or in the afternoon. And then we also have, actually this week, we have started salsa classes from um, yeah, from one of our members staying there, and yeah, he's an expert in salsa, and we are very grateful that he helped us to run a salsa class on Thursday nights. And then Friday nights, we also have Friday unwind evenings because we have very nice sunset in Hoi An. I think it's a waste if we don't do a unwind night there. And during the week, yeah, and during the weekends, we have trips planned to explore the nature. So Anil is an expert in finding all the unexplored areas in Vietnam, in Thailand. So during the week, Anil will be leading nature trips. For example, we've done coconut boat riding, the typical boat in Hoi An with the rocking experience and or kayaking. And then actually we're also planning a 2 days trip, overnight trip to this coastal village called Hue. I'm not sure if you heard of that. The ride,
Oh, I've
yes,
heard of Hue. I don't know if it's this,
Hui
if it's,
Hui is
I'm probably saying it wrong.
Hui. Oh, I might be wrong too. Um,
No, no,
so
not my first. It's, yeah, it's a difficult language.
I know it is. So actually, we collaborate with the community, and then we encourage them to share their ideas where they would like to go, where they want to go and explore, and then we will arrange the trips also based on where people wants to go. That's why actually the trip to Hugh came up.
That's great. No, there's so many things around. Anil, you're nodding.
Yes.
It's so much. I mentioned that you guys started out of hiking trips and going into nature. So I'm
Yes.
happy to hear you're continuing that. Anil, any other places that you found nearby that people can look forward to if they come and stay?
Yeah, tons of them actually. There's a lot to do in Vietnam. I love the nature in Vietnam because a lot of it is kind of untouched by tourism yet. There are a lot of beautiful waterfalls which are only visited or mostly visited by locals. They are not on touristic maps, or there are no tours that are offered by operators there. So there's a lot of these hidden spots, I think, which are an hour from Hoi An probably. That we've covered some of them. We plan to cover a few more. There's of course the popular places like the Sontra Peninsula, which is an hour from Hoi An. This amazing cliff overlooking the ocean, with it's probably the largest statue of Lady Buddha here. And there's of course the very iconic Hoi An Pass, which is one of the best roads to ride on. Um, so there's a lot. Every member, of course, living here joins the community and joins all the activities. We have also planned a visit to an island nearby where we plan to snorkel and explore the island using bicycles. So yeah, like Mindy said, weekends we want to spend in nature. A lot of the community members enjoy those trips. They look forward to them. And in fact, a lot of suggestions, like Mindy mentioned, come out of the community of what they would like to experience. Uh, and then we put something together. We are fortunate to have partners on the ground here for logistics and all other support. So we can put something together fairly quickly and create those experiences.
Yeah, this brings me to a question. So, Mindy or Anil, are either of you living on site, or is there a community manager that is running everything that lives with everybody of the co-living?
I'm right now on site. Mindy was as well until last week, and we one of us would probably, given the fact that this is our first co-living and we are deeply entrenched in the community ourselves. One of us will always be on site to support the community, to grow the community, and to create the experience that we want to actually offer to our co-living members as well.
I love that. I always think it's really the best formula for success to have the passionate founders be part of it for as long as possible directly, because your passion is what is fueling other people's passion, I'm sure.
Absolutely, absolutely, yes.
So this brings me to another question. So this is your first co-living, your pop-up co-living. How long are you planning to run this in Hoi An?
Um,
Uh,
so so for this co-living, we are planning to run for 3 months. So we've already started, yeah, 1st of March, and we'll be running from March, April until the end of May.
That's good. That's a very nice like first at 3 month stint. And then what are your plans for the future? Are you planning to do this like maybe next season as well? Or are you gonna do another pop-up co-living somewhere else? Because as you said, Anil, does sound like a good community going, 1,500 people already.
yes, absolutely. We've got some really good feedback from the community already on the co-living. And like Mindy mentioned, a lot of the members are driving it forward. They're volunteering to actually offer sessions for other members. So we think this is moving in the right direction. In terms of plans, we've not thought too far ahead, but there's definitely um, a pop-up that we're planning in Chiang Mai later this year. It's a place which is very close to my heart, and it's also in Asia at least the best nomad destination. So in Chiang Mai, a pop-up towards the end of the year. We are exploring other locations. Both of us come from countries which have not been widely explored. So China and India have great potential. There's so much cultural, geographical, nature diversity that nomads haven't really experienced. And both of us feel that as the community grows, there are opportunities to explore in the coming year in both of the countries. I mean, there's so many opportunities that we see for nomads, and a lot of nomads have actually requested these locations. Both China and India are very attractive locations for nomads, but they are not probably as well documented. They're also not as accessible for a lot of nomads from the Western world. And so we want to kind of change that. We want to create pop-ups in these locations where nomads could come in and experience the diversity and the uniqueness that both of these countries have to offer. So that's something probably next year we might even explore that.
Oh, that sounds incredible. I can see what you're saying. As I've been to both countries, and I have to say I didn't know anyone on the ground when I went. So both in both countries, I was in a kind of guided situation, and it would be amazing to have a friend, a digital nomad friend, who could see it from a digital nomad's eyes and take us along. There's so much to explore. Absolutely.
Yes, we feel that what is happening, the community is creating a safe space for everyone else to come through, and that is the safe space that we want to replicate in these co-living. So it doesn't matter if you were in the Himalayas in India or in Chiang Mai or in Bali or in maybe a small island in Philippines. You should have a safe space of the community and also have a very standard experience in terms of living and working, so that you can experience that nomad life and experience those locations. And that's where we feel the nomad community is nudging us towards, and we want to explore those opportunities.
Yeah, and I think it's so important to have that locals knowledge of especially the culture and how to act. I saw a video yesterday on social media of a woman walking through Egypt, but she was wearing like, a very skimpy dress, like almost like she was on holiday. And that is just not, I mean, a lot of people may not know, no, you shouldn't do something that it draws, some security concerns that you wouldn't have if you knew how to behave and blend in with that culture, which of course locals can help you with.
Absolutely. And
Definitely.
I think the community, yeah, sorry, I was saying I think the community kind of feeds that information a lot. So even people coming, for example, we've done visits in Thailand, which included visits to Thai temples, the Buddhist temples. And of course, there are certain ways in which you need to dress as you enter those temples. But the community itself shares that knowledge for the other members to kind of learn from. So it kind of helps everyone else in the community as they go on these visits.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds so exciting. I really hope you guys can bring us all to China and India going forward. So I want to thank
I'd
you
love to
both
share.
for being on the show and sharing this new venture. This is really exciting. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us before you go, including where people can follow you or find out more?
Yeah, so we have our Instagram page and Facebook page and our website or under diginomad.com. And thank you so much, Becky, for inviting the both of us to share our experience. It's really nice to connecting with you too.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. And yeah, you're making me want to go back to Hoi An. So, as anyone listening, so it's March until the end of May this year, and then we'll see where Digi Nomad takes us next.
Absolutely, Becky. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.